Eric's going to be on it tonight, Mike. His prototypical power forward. Describe what he brought to his game.
Well, I just think, you think about dominant players that walked in the National Hockey League and took it by storm. I don't think he had to wait a whole bunch to do that. Obviously, a huge man. Even in junior, there was a lot of notoriety coming out of junior, and then what he was able to do. The trade initially, even before he got to the league. But just his impact on the game. And I think it's great for him and great for the Flyers that they've decided to do this. It's fantastic. It'll be a big night for him and his family.
We've seen other players, generational players, come into the league and take it by storm, whether it's McDavid, Matthews. When you look at Lindros, how he took it by storm, though, it was a physical storm, really.
Yeah, but I think the latter two and these ones, I think there's got to be a certain amount of time. Right, you got to do it for a certain amount of time, and so when I look at players and I think of what they did, the impact is incredible. When you look at a guy like Bobby Orr who came in, even though his time wasn't 20 years, it was unbelievable. When you look at Crosby, you look at Ovechkin, all these guys are dominant players. They arrived and then they did it for a period of time, and so good for him. It's unfortunate, the concussions obviously, and the way that went with his health, but like I said, it's a big night for him and his family.
You'll have your team on the bench during the ceremony?
I don't know exactly what we're doing there. I haven't got all the details on the ceremony, but we'll go from whatever's best to help us win tonight.
Mike, Mitch getting caught on the wrong side of the puck in overtime the last game. Have you liked how he's responded from those kind of tough moments in his young career so far?
Well, I think if you go through it, when you don't win, anytime there's a mistake, I think you talk about it more. If you make a mistake and you win, you don't talk about it as much. I mean, it was just earlier, Rise made a mistake. No one's trying to make mistakes. Mitch's not trying to make mistakes. He's trying to help our team win. I think he's actually had a pretty good run here of late. So what's important for him is not dwell on it. There's no sense carrying the weight of the world. You made a mistake, it's over with, let's get back at her.
The other night you said just have to find a way to win. What do you guys have to do? Kind of turn those 1-goal losses to make?
Well, I just think when you look at us, and I went through it here this morning, I'm looking at, geez, we got to generate more shots, and I go through it and I look at all the shots we generated the last game. Well, no, we got to spend more time in the O-zone. When I look through it, we spent quite a bit of time in the O-zone. Last game, the chances were darn close to even. I thought it was a good game and a good team we were playing against. So to me, the biggest thing is just steady on the rudder, keep her going here. And play well without the puck, and then we'll spend more time in the O-zone. I think the Flyers, last 2 times we played them, the games have been tight, and there's not going to be a lot of space out there tonight. You got to be prepared to go and take advantage of your opportunities.
In an ideal world, would you like to get more even strike minutes for Connor Brown if there was a way to do that? Or
yeah, so why don't you canvass the top 9 and see who wants to give them that? Right. You know what I mean? Like, my wife can tell me what's wrong, but in our business, you got to find a way to figure out what's right. Do you know what I mean by that? Yeah. So who am I taking? But I think Brownie, he's playing on a power play, playing a regular shift and playing well for us and penalty killing for us. And so I think he does a pretty good job. I thought he was one of our best players last game. Anytime a guy like that plays like he's sending a message to everybody else at the same time, right? He wants more ice time. He wants their job. And so I think that's a good message for our team.
Is there any concern at all, Mike, with a guy like Naz and having gone 20 games without an assist in the position that he plays and the minutes that he gets and that sort of thing? Are you seeing things on tape that he's doing well and not translating to helping others score? Or
yeah, to tell you the truth, I thought Naz's line was great last game. They were playing against a really good line. The other line didn't have. Did you see the other line he was playing against? So that set us up to win the game. So I thought he did a great job. I think on the road it's not as easy as for those guys to have an impact because they're not going to let them play against their key people. That's just, so I think that becomes more of a prevalent thing. And that scores a ton of his goals in net, or not net front, but in the middle on the power play, and that's where he's got to do it. I think that whole line hasn't been as effective offensively, but in the chances they've been effective offensively. So, when Leo gets those chances and doesn't score, we got to believe it's going to go in on shooting percentage-wise.
Thanks, Coach.
See you guys.